Today, let's talk about the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, a book that has had a profound impact on the way people think about self-improvement. The book's core message is that small, consistent actions, tiny habits, can lead to remarkable changes in our lives. Instead of focusing on big transformations, Clear teaches us that it's the small, daily habits that ultimately define our success or failure. Today, I'll walk you through the main concepts of the book and provide practical strategies to build better habits while breaking bad ones. Firstly, let's explore what atomic habits are. Clear defines an atomic habit as a small, incremental habit that compounds over time. The word atomic refers to something tiny but powerful. Just like atoms make up everything, small habits build up to create big changes. We often think that success is about making massive changes, but Clear argues the opposite. Success is the result of small changes, repeated consistently. For example, if you want to read more, committing to just 1 page a day might seem insignificant. But over the course of a year, that's 365 pages, a full book or more. 2. The 1% rule, the power of tiny gains. Clear uses the idea of 1% improvement to show how small changes can have a significant impact. The idea is simple. If you get 1% better every day, you'll improve dramatically over time. Conversely, if you get 1% worse, the decline compounds just as quickly. Imagine a plane taking off from Los Angeles and heading to New York. If the pilot adjusts the plane's heading by just 3.5 degrees south, it will land in Washington, D.C. instead of New York. That small change in direction creates a massive difference over time. In our lives, we often underestimate the power of these small shifts. We expect immediate results from our efforts and get discouraged when we don't see progress right away. But Clear reminds us that these tiny actions are like seeds. They take time to grow, but with consistency, they eventually produce huge outcomes. 3. The habit loop. How habits work. Clear breaks down how habits form into a process called the habit loop, which consists of 4 stages. 1. Cue. This is the trigger that starts the habit. 2. Craving. The desire or motivation behind the habit. 3. Response. The actual behavior or habit. 4. Reward. The satisfaction you get after completing the habit. Let's take the example of drinking coffee. The cue is, you wake up and feel tired. The craving is, you want to feel more alert. The response is, you brew a cup of coffee. And the reward is, you feel awake and ready to take on the day. This loop is the foundation of how all habits, good or bad, are formed. The more you repeat this loop, the more ingrained the habit becomes. Let's move to next point. Identity-based habits. Focus on who you want to become. One of the most important ideas in Atomic Habits is the concept of identity-based habits. Clear argues that lasting change is not just about what you want to achieve, but about who you want to become. Instead of saying, I want to run more, say, I am a runner. This shifts your focus from the outcome to the type of person you aspire to be. When your habits align with your identity, they become much easier to maintain. For example, if you see yourself as a healthy person, you're more likely to make choices that align with that identity, like eating well or exercising regularly. The goal is to reinforce the identity you want with small, consistent actions. One more important idea from this book is the 4 laws of behavior change. Clear outlines a simple framework for building good habits and breaking bad ones, called the 4 laws of behavior change. These laws make habits easier to adopt and sustain. 1. Make it obvious. To build a good habit, make the cues for that habit as obvious as possible. If you want to remember to take vitamins, leave the bottle on the kitchen counter where you'll see it. If you want to practice the guitar, leave it in the middle of your living room. To break a bad habit, do the opposite. Make the cues invisible. If you want to eat less junk food, hide it out of sight. Remove the triggers that prompt you to engage in bad habits. The strategy is using habit stacking. This means linking a new habit to an existing one. For example, if you want to start meditating, stack it with something you already do every day. After I brew my coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. 2. Make it attractive. You are more likely to stick to habits that you find attractive. To make a good habit more appealing, pair it with something you enjoy. For example, only allow yourself to watch your favorite TV show while working out. On the flip side, make bad habits less attractive. If you're trying to quit smoking, remind yourself of the negative consequences, like the long-term effects on your health. The strategy is using temptation bundling. Combine something you want to do with something you need to do. For instance, listen to an audiobook only while cleaning the house. 3. Make it easy. The easier a habit is to perform, the more likely you are to stick to it. Reduce friction by simplifying your environment. If you want to write more, leave your notebook and pen where you can easily grab them. To break a bad habit, increase the friction. If you're trying to watch less TV, unplug it after each use, so you have to go through the hassle of setting it up again. The strategy is using the 2-minute rule. Reduce the habit to something that can be done in 2 minutes or less. If you want to read more, start by reading just 1 page. Once you've started, it's easier to keep going. 4. Make it satisfying. Clear emphasizes the power of immediate rewards. The brain is wired to seek instant gratification, so attach a reward to the completion of your habit. For example, after you complete a workout, allow yourself a small treat or relaxation time. On the other hand, make bad habits unsatisfying by adding an immediate consequence. For example, if you're trying to save money, ask a friend to hold you accountable. If you splurge, you have to send them a certain amount of money as a penalty. The strategy is using habit tracking. Track your progress visually, whether it's checking off a calendar or using a habit tracker app. Seeing your success builds momentum and makes the habit more satisfying. The plateau of latent potential. Trust the process. One of the biggest challenges in forming habits is the plateau of latent potential. This is the phase where you're working hard, but you don't see immediate results. Many people give up during this stage, assuming their efforts aren't working. Clear compares this to an ice cube melting. You may raise the temperature gradually, but the ice doesn't melt until it reaches 32 degrees. Even though you can't see progress at first, change is happening under the surface. Success is often the result of small actions compounding over time. Clear's advice is trusting the process and be patient. Your habits are seeds. If you water them consistently, they will eventually grow into the results you want. And beyond the basics, Clear introduces a few advanced strategies for mastering habits. 1. Environment design. Your environment plays a huge role in shaping your behavior. Design your surroundings to make good habits easier and bad habits harder. For example, if you want to eat healthier, fill your kitchen with fruits and vegetables. If you want to stop wasting time on social media, delete the apps from your phone. 2. Never miss twice. Clear suggests the never miss twice rule. Missing a habit once is fine, life happens, but never allow yourself to miss twice in a row. This helps you bounce back quickly and avoid falling off track. 3. Focus on systems, not goals. Clear argues that it's more important to focus on the systems and processes that lead to success rather than the end goal. For example, instead of setting a goal to write a book, focus on creating a writing habit where you write a little bit every day. Systems make goals inevitable. To wrap up, the key message of Atomic Habits is that small, consistent changes lead to extraordinary results over time. It's not about making huge, drastic transformations all at once, but about building sustainable habits that align with your identity and your long-term goals. Small habits, repeated consistently, compound into major success. Focus on systems, not just goals. Become the kind of person who embodies the habits you want to develop. Use the 4 laws of behavior change to create good habits and break bad ones. Trust the process and remember that change takes time. As you leave here today, think about one small habit you can start working on right now. It could be something as simple as walking for 5 minutes a day or reading one page of a book. Remember, the key to success is not in massive shifts, but in the small, consistent actions you take each day.